Hello, I'm the senior trader at the Forex Supermodel, and this is my job to review the racing, our first crack at transferring Forex skills to the horse racing or weather field. Right, so let's have a look then. Grab the chalk. Right, Tuesday was the 18th to the 5th was our first crack then. So day one, Wolverhampton 155 swooper, and the end result of that was it came last. It came 10th out of 10th at 11 to 1. And I know what you're thinking. You think that horse would probably be more suited to delivering the milk than going on a race course. Well, that may be true. Anyway, let's rattle through the results and then discuss them. So the second race we did was on the Tuesday as well as the 4:10 at Wolverhampton. Silent film, and this one came 4th of 7 at 9 to 2. And then we went to the next day, Wednesday the 19th, and we did two races in the first race at Kempton on the all-weather. We did Dream Chaser and Nautical Value. Dream Chaser came 3rd out of 10 at 16 to 1. Natural Value came 4th out of 10, followed it home at 16 to 1. The 7:35 at the same meeting on the same day, Oslo, ended up coming 5th out of 7 at 20 to 1. And finally, Thursday the 20th, we had a go at Wolverhampton on the 440. Daysack came last, 6 out of 6 at 20 to 1. There was a steward's investigation into that horse, we'll talk about it later. And Chelmsford on weather, the final race, number 7, was the 6:10. Greek Kodiak came 3rd out of 9 at 14 to 1. Right, so if you do some basic analysis then, if you look at the odds, these are the SP returns, the sort of basic odds you get if you put SP down on your ticket and you walk into the bookies or whatever. They're the SP returns, and if you take those 7 odds and average them and divide by 7, you end up with what do you end up with? You end up with 14.5. So the average price of horse that we bet on of those 7 bets was 14.5 to 1. So that's where we are. Right, so what's the rationale then with our approach? Well, the thing is that the focus in horse racing is in the front two, really. It's the first and second favourite, and then you get this mid cluster of horses in the race who are bet at sort of 3 to 7 to 1, and then you get the ones that nobody's really interested in, sort of 7 to 1 plus, right up to, well, normally up to about 33 to 1, depending on how many's in the race. So and our operation is really aimed at hooking out races, so the back end of the middle, which is about 8 to 1 plus at 10 to 1, towards any price goes, really, because the overlooked horses. So we're trying to operate. So you've got this initial favourite or near favourites. You've got these middle horses, and then you've got these so-called long shots. And we're sort of trying to operate in this area here. And why are we operating in that area? Well, because our analysis suggests that that's where the most likely it is you're going to make a profit in the medium to long term. These odds are very much screwed off, and the information is very much in your face. And you know, for a favourite to go, say, from 2 to 1 to 7 to 1 is unlikely. It's 5 points in the SP change. But for one of these horses to go to 20 to 25 to 1 is quite common, and ultimately if you manage to hook some of these longer priced horses, and then 5 points on the SP here is the equivalent of 5 points on the SP further down, and when the average price of a favourite is about 13 to 8 ish, around that sort of mark, then it makes a hell of a difference when you're betting. If you can sort of get 25 to 1 or instead of 20 to 1, then you basically backed 3 or 4 favourites without actually doing anything. So anyway, that's the rationale. In terms of the modelling, what type of horses do we like? Well, we base the whole system on, or our whole analysis on on three factors, which is the ETP rating, which is energy, trip and pace. Now these are interlinking. Now energy, what we like to see is a horse that really is burning the energy in its previous race. So where are we? Let's get rid of this so we can make some space. So basically, let's just talk about the previous race. We predominantly base our analysis on the N-1. So it's the race before the race of the day, if you like, so the last form. And what we like to see in energy terms, and we've modelled this mathematically, is we like to see a horse that's basically held up at the back, that is burning energy, racing freely, and then starts to move up through the field, gets shuffled back. We like to see it getting outpaced and plodding along in the mid of the race. We like to see it getting outpaced, staying on, you know, all the rest of it. And we also like to see it in the next phase. We like to see a trip where it's getting outpaced. We like to see it blocked, and we like to see it switch. So we like to see it move across to the left or the right to try and then we like to see headway from the switch, because this is the maximum burn on energy. So it takes you back to this thing. As soon as you change direction and speed, you use massive amounts of energy in terms of physics, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for horses that have had pretty poor trips, and we're also looking for horses that have been held up. And the ideal race would be where it's been a front running race and they've hit trouble and the front horses have flown and they're just staying on at the end and making ground at the end. And that's our sort of philosophy really. So that has numerous advantages in that the performance looks quite poor for the handicapper, and you tend to get better odds. So that's what we're looking at really. If you look at the SP odds and the exchange returns that we got, they were fairly similar this time around. 14.5 was the average SP odds, and we actually ended up with 14.7 on the exchanges on average. And yet there was quite a wide discrepancy between some of the SP prices and the exchange prices. And the problem is when you're taking a price early, and then particularly with longer price horses, is that the exchanges may well be lower price, even though it looks good at the time. So you're getting 14 to 1, and then the horse drifts out to 20, 25 to 1 on the SP. So the best way around that is to have a split approach. Is initially go on the exchange, and then if the horse drifts out massively on the SP, then to take that. If not, you just top up on the exchange. So that's a way of sort of averaging out these problems, and every SP point counts. It really does. Right, so that's where we are really. First 7 bets, all losers. Best position was third. We got 2/3. Yeah, we got 2/3, which was Greek Kodiak and Dream Chaser, and that was at 16 to 1 and 14 to 1. We don't back each way because it doesn't. Long term, you won't be able to get the amount of money on that we're going to be involved with, and B, it reduces the overall take. It's a sort of a false economy, if you like. So anyway, we're going to have another crack on Monday the 24th. So see you then, and I hope that was useful. Thank you very much.